Very good morning to all of you. Know Their Story, Write Your Story is a series of lectures that we have started, especially in the outbreak of the results of UPSC Civil Services Exam 2020. We have a lot of achievers amongst us, and today we are privileged to have amongst us Mr. Suraj. Suraj has achieved All India rank 255, and it's a pleasure and honor that we have Suraj amongst us. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation, Suraj. Especially as somebody who is beginning your journey into civil services exam this time and being part of this entire arena of civil services, to have an idea of how the journey of civil services looks like, what it takes to become a civil servant, how did the dream start, and this story of success has a lot of effort which has gone unsung and unheard. Every aspirant who has finally seen a minute of glory would have years of effort which only he or she knows. Today we have Suraj who will be narrating his part of the story and giving an idea about what it takes. So the request, sir, is that you be completely open so they know the reality of things and how things work. So Suraj basically is from Bangalore. He's ranked 255 and he's done his graduation from in computer science engineering from the Global Academy of Technology. His optional for civil services is geography. So he will be giving you a brief story about how things work and the entire idea. Before that, I would now request Srinivas sir to briefly welcome and introduce the guest.
ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೋರ್ವ ಸಾಧಕರು ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರನ್ನು ಎದುರುಗೊಳ್ಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಶ್ರೀಮಂತ ಅನುಭವವನ್ನು ಹಂಚಿಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೂರಜ್ ಅವರು ಮೊನ್ನೆ ನಾವು ವಾಟ್ಸಪ್ ಚಾಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಸರ್ ನಾನು ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮೊದಲೇ ನಾನು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕುರಿತು ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ವಿಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಅವರೇ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಾನೊಂದು ಸೆಷನ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು, ನಮ್ಮ ಅನುಭವಗಳು ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಜೊತೆ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಮೇಲಿನ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯಿಂದ ಅಭಿಮಾನದಿಂದ ಇವತ್ತು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಹಾಗೂ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಯ ಟೀಮ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಫಾರ್ IAS ತಂಡದ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನ ಕೋರ್ತೀನಿ. ಮುನ್ರಾಜ್ ಅವರು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಊಟ ಕೊಡೋದ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಸ್ವಾಗತಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಭಾಗ್ಯವಂತರು. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿಡೇಟ್ ಸಾಧಕರನ್ನ ಒಂದು ವೇದಿಕೆಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಕರೆತರುವುದು ಬಹಳ ಸಾಹಸದ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಸುದೈವದಿಂದ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಫಾರ್ IAS ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲ ಸಾಧಕರನ್ನ ಅವರ ಅನುಭವವನ್ನ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅನುಭವ ಆಗಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಫಾರ್ IAS ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಸಾಧಕನಿಗೂ ಮತ್ತೊಬ್ಬ ಸಾಧಕನಿಗೂ ವಿಭಿನ್ನವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಅನುಭವಗಳಿರ್ತದೆ. ಅವರ ಓದುವ ಶೈಲಿ ಹಾಗೂ ಅವರು ನಡೆದ ಸಾಧನೆಯ ಹಾದಿ ಏನಿರ್ತದೆ ಒಬ್ಬರಿಗಿಂತ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ವಿಭಿನ್ನವಾಗಿದೆ. ಒಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಅನ್ವಯ ಆಗಿದ್ದು ಬೇರೆಯವರಿಗೆ ಅನ್ವಯ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಏನು ಮಾಲಿಕೆ ನಾವು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ನೋ ದರ್ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ರೈಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಅಂತ, ಅವರ ಈ ಜರ್ನಿಯ ಒಂದು ಕಥೆಯನ್ನು ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟೋರಿಯನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನೀವೇ ಬರೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಮಾಲಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ, ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಇನ್ಸೈಟ್ಸ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಮುಂದಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇವರೆಲ್ಲ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಕೆಲವರು ಲಬಾಸ್ನ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಕೆಲವರು NPA ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಕೆಲವರು ನ್ಯಾಸನ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಅವರು ಓದ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಷ್ಟರ ಒಳಗಡೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆ ಇವರು ಇರುವ ದಿನಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಪರಿಣಾಮಕಾರಿಯಾಗಿ ಬಳಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅವರ ಒಂದು ಏನು ಜ್ಞಾನ ಇದೆ ಅವರ ಏನು ಒಂದು ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಇದೆ ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಾವು ಬಯಸಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಆಯೋಜನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಇದನ್ನ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಗಳಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಇಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ತುಂಬಾ ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು IAS ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಸಿವಿಲ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್ ಬರಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಎಷ್ಟು ತಿಂಗಳು ಕೋಚಿಂಗ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಖರ್ಚು ವೆಚ್ಚ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಉಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ನಾವು ತುಂಬಾ ಗೊಂದಲ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯಿಂದ ನೀವು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಯಾವ ಊರಿನಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು. ನಿಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅವಕಾಶ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿರ್ತದೆ, ಕೆಲವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿರಲ್ಲ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹುಶಃ ನಮ್ಮ ದಕ್ಷಿಣದ ರಾಜ್ಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳ ಕಡಿಮೆ, ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ನಮ್ಮ ಕೈಲಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಬರೀ ಈಗ ಮೊನ್ನೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದಾಗೆ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ, ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಕೊಡೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಸಮಯವನ್ನು ವ್ಯರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. 4 ವರ್ಷ ಜೊತೆನಲ್ಲೇ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬದುಕನ್ನು ಕಟ್ಟಿಕೊಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು, ಉನ್ನತ ಹುದ್ದೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು, ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಸಮಾಜವನ್ನು ಕಟ್ಟತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕಾರ್ಯವನ್ನು ನಾನು ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿ ದಶೆಯಿಂದನೇ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ನನ್ನ ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಭಾವನೆ ಹಾಗೂ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಯ ಮೋಟೋ ಕೂಡ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಸಾಧಕರು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳೋದನ್ನ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ಇದೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕುಟುಂಬಸ್ಥರು, ಮಂತ್ರಿಸ್ಥರು, ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರು, ಊರಿನವರು, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿರುವಂಥವ್ರು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಹಳ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರು. ಇವತ್ತು ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಸಿವಿಲ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಚೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಅಭಿನಂದಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಬಹಳ ಎಚ್ಚರಿಕೆ ಬೆಳಿತೀರ ನೀವು. ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕತೆಯಿಂದ ನೀವೇನಾದರೂ ಡಿಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇ ಆದರೆ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಧನೆ ಅಂತೂ ಕಟ್ಟಿಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕವಾಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ, ಓದಿನಲ್ಲಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ತಯಾರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲದರಲ್ಲೂ ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕತೆ ಇದ್ದರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬರವಣಿಗೆನಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಆ ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕತೆ, ಆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವ, ಆ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತದೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ನನ್ನ ಭಾವನೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಸೂರಜ್ ಅವರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆ, ಅವರು ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರನ್ನು ಕುರಿತು ಮಾತನಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಶುಭ ಆಗಲಿ, ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಜೀವನವನ್ನು ಕಟ್ತೀವಿ, ಸಮಾಜ ಕಟ್ಟಿ, ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರ ಕಟ್ಟಿ, ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಲಿ. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸರ್. Before we call Suraj on stage, in the few interactions that we have had with Suraj, it has been really interesting and really amazing that the idea of honesty, the idea of integrity Suraj has displayed in every conversation that we have had. So it is no doubt that India is going to have a very humble and a serving civil servant in its work. We hope Suraj achieves all heights in his service, and wishing that he also pursues ahead and achieves the top dream that he wants to achieve. Like Srinivas sir mentioned, it is honor and pleasure that we have amongst us Suraj, so that he can share his experience. So without much delay, let's have his word. We'll also have a question answer session at the end. So as you listen to him, you can also come up with some questions that you can have to ask achiever that you have in front of us. Those who are online also can ask your questions. You can put down your questions on the chat box. At the end of the session, when we open the session for question and answers, we'll be taking questions so that you can ask your questions also. Okay? Right. Over to Suraj.
Very good morning to all of you. I would extend my heartfelt thanks to Srinivas sir for having invited me to this institute and giving me this opportunity to interact with you all today. I would also like to remember the contributions of Kedar sir, who is not present here today, but who has made a very valuable contribution to this academy. And thank you very much to Prashant sir for giving a very good introduction about me and speaking very good words about my personality. I hope everyone here understands Kannada. How many of you don't understand Kannada here? Okay. So this session will be a mix of English and Kannada. I'll try to use English in most of the places. I'll also try to mix it with the local language because we'll have a better connect when we talk in our language, right? What do you all feel? Very good. So my civil services journey started in 2017, but the idea of civil services was instilled in me. The seeds were sown way back, probably when I was in my LKG or UKG. The reason for that being, my father was working in the police department, and he used to tell me stories right from my childhood as to what a civil servant, what a police officer can do in the society, what are the big changes which can happen and which can make our society a better place to live in. So right from that time, I was enthused to get into the civil services. And it so happened that when I started my preparation in 2017, there were not many institutes in Bangalore, though I took coaching in one of them. I was able to get a hang of what the civil services syllabus was, what the exam was all about. I could not clear the preliminary exam in my first attempt in 2018. Post that, I decided that in the next one attempt or in the next two attempts, I should clear this exam at any cost. Having that focus in mind, I was able to clear the preliminary examination in 2019. But in the mains exam, I missed the final cutoff by 19 marks. And it was in the middle of 2020, that is in the first or the second month of 2020, that I had this idea that in this very attempt, I should clear this exam. And I made an integrated preparation for all prelims, mains. And after clearing mains, I focused more on my interview preparation. So what you all have to do is, what you all have to do to get selected in the first attempt or in the second attempt. You should not waste too much time here. Like sir always keeps telling, you're not here to do any research. You're not here to take any degree. Your only motive here is to clear the exam in the quickest time possible. Because that will not only save your time, but when you invest your time in a diligent way in the first or the second attempt, the chances of clearing will be very high and your efficiency will be really good. So right from day one, how many days or months of classes have you all undergone till now? 5 days. Okay. So this is the right time for me to interact with all of you. And I think from today, you all have to make a resolve. Make your best plans. See, it is not about making plans. It is about executing those plans on time and being honest with whatever you're doing. So ensure that you have a timetable for your study plan. Implement it every day. Have daily targets, monthly targets, be it current affairs, be it your subjects like science and technology, history, geography, whatever it is. Have a specific plan for each day. Ensure that you complete it at the earliest, because postponing any particular work, as you all know, will burden you in the end. Burdening yourself is not good with respect to the exam and also with respect to your personality. It shows that you're not honest and you're not willing to work. Probably the ones you have opted. Can any one of you here tell me what is the reason for you to opt for civil services as a career? I feel it will be better if we have an interactive session. You all can keep asking questions. I will keep asking you questions so that we can have a very good discussion. One of you tell me why you all chose civil services as a career option? So you all would have done degrees in engineering, medical, arts, commerce, management. I too had my bachelor's of engineering in computer science. I had a job offer. I didn't join it because I wanted to join civil services. So there will be something definitely which would have made you all aspire for civil services as a career. Can any one of you tell me what prompted you to opt for civil services? Anyone of? See, one thing I'll tell you. ಒಂದು ನಾನು ಹೇಳಕ್ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿ ಸಂಕೋಚ ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಡಿ. ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ನನ್ನ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಏನ್ ಅನ್ಕೋತಾನೆ, ನಂಗೆ ಏನು ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೋತಾನೆ. ತುಂಬಾ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಇದು, ಇದಕ್ಕೂ ನಂಗೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಭಾವನೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ರೂ ಕಲಿಯೋ ಹಂತದಲ್ಲೇ ಇರೋದು. ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಕ್ ಮುಂಚೆ, ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಜೀವನ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ದಿನಾನು ನಾವು ಬಹಳ ಕಲಿಯೋದು ಬಹಳ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನಾವು ಬಹಳ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೀವಿ, ನಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ನೀವ್ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ನೋಡಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನೇ ಮನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ಸಿದ್ರು ಅದನ್ನ ಮುಕ್ತವಾಗಿ ಕೇಳಕ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಇದೆ. ಫೀಲ್ ಫ್ರೀ ಟು ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಎನಿ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್. Okay. You're from which state?
I'm from Andhra Pradesh.
Okay, very good.
I came from a rural background.
Okay.
I have seen many people who are not fortunate for their education.
Okay.
So my main motto to opt civil services is to give best education to as many as people I can. That is
Okay.
first main motto. And second is I'm very fond of that policing.
Very good. Very good. That is really good to hear. See, each one of you here will have your motives, you will have your aspirations. You would have come here for one purpose. When you are undergoing this, the preparation for this exam, keep remembering the basic objective with which you came here. It may be anything: power to change the society, mental happiness, or personal satisfaction, whatever it could be. One thing you have to keep doing is whenever you feel low, or because in this examination phase there will be many instances where you will lose your confidence. But the only thing here in this exam is not about acquiring knowledge. How many of you here think that by acquiring knowledge I will clear this exam? See, I will tell you one thing in my experience of 4 years preparing for the civil services exam. How many ever times you read whichever source you refer, it is definitely not easy to acquire all the knowledge. Only thing which matters in the exam or anywhere in life is your confidence. With whatever you know, you should be in a position to defend yourself, present your ideas in a proper way, and also defend them when the time comes. That is where your confidence levels actually help you a lot. Even in the exam, even in this exam for that matter, in the preliminary, main, or in the personality test stage, there will be a lot of questions where you wouldn't have even encountered it once. So what they're testing there is they're not testing whether you know it or not. How honest you are in accepting that you don't know something, or how will you respond in a situation where you're not aware of the ground realities. That is what they'll be looking at. So you have to make an earnest attempt to cover the syllabus. Covering the syllabus is very important from the point of view of exam. Other than that, you have to develop these life skills: confidence, positive mindset, interacting with everyone, trying to learn good things from everyone. See, we all interact, we all use social media. You all have to use it. You have to spend time on it, but use it in a constructive way. How constructive? Make groups among yourselves because you are here for a purpose. You have to clear this exam. Make groups and ensure that you use it in a conducive way for your preparation, clearing the exam in the best possible time. Sure, you all are aware of the examination process, the preliminary, main, and the personality test. I will not explain too much about the exam. One thing I would like to tell you: when a particular teacher is teaching you a subject here in the class, make notes or do something that is very helpful to you. Make notes, read them again and again, refer the reference books, do it. And one thing you have to do from day one is, after a particular topic is completed, you have to solve multiple choice questions on it, whichever topic it is. Side by side, you will also have to start writing answers. Because what happened in my second attempt, that is the first time I wrote my mains exam, though I was able to complete 250 marks in all the papers in 3 hours, what used to happen was in the beginning, I was not in a position to write all the 20 questions. As you all know, there are 20 questions in mains exam. What happens is if you have to cover 250 marks, you have to use both your knowledge and speed. You have to cover the paper, you have to know it, and you have to try to minimize the time you spend on each question. So that comes by practice. That is where practice holds a very important role in your civil services preparation. One more thing is revision. Teachers would have already told you this exam is not like your university exam where you listen to the classes, study for one day before the exam and clear it. That is not going to happen here. You need a dedicated effort. You have to be focused. More than everything, have a positive mindset. And don't interact with anyone who is giving you negative vibes or negative thoughts. The reason for that is, once those negative thoughts start affecting you, you will not focus properly and your efficiency levels will not be optimum. Try to interact with all your teachers and mentors here. Try to get the best of them because they all are very knowledgeable people. They have experience attending multiple interviews. So they will be able to give you the right way which you have to follow to clear your civil services exam. So what has to be done for civil services success? One thing is you have to be disciplined right through your preparation. How disciplined? Coming here to the academy, attending classes, listening to each and every topic they are teaching here, going home, making the best use of the time available after the classes, be it current affairs. How do you all read newspapers? Which newspaper do you all read? It will be the Hindu, right? How do you all read it? How much time do you all spend on it? 1.5 hours, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Okay, in the beginning, you will all be requiring more time to read the newspaper. But what I would say is, you have to skip the unnecessary items even in the newspaper. Something that is very political, or some news that is very local to Bangalore or particular city. Usually, you don't have to study too much about it. Can anyone tell me how many of you have read today's newspaper? Can anyone of me can anyone of you tell what the headline says today? Okay, very good. Okay, okay. So as you all know, in civil services examination, they never pick any news item or any topic for that matter and ask questions directly on it. India has achieved the milestone of administering 100 crore doses of COVID-19 vaccine, right? Though there will not be any direct question on it. There will be an indirect way of asking it. Probably they will get into the depth of the COVID-19 vaccine, the composition of it, what sort of an immune response that will generate in the human body. So what basically you have to do is you are seeing news at the surface level here, whichever topic it is. You have to get into the depth of the topic. Don't do too much research on it. You have to know the basic things. You should never go wrong in the basic things because here in civil services exam, they will be testing your basic knowledge. That is, it may not get into the depth of the subject like you do in your PhD or in your master's. What they do is, you have all seen the India map, right? They ask a question. Which of the following states is not neighboring to Karnataka? They would have given 4 states. So you'll basically have to know, you'll have to visualize the map. It is not that we can remember each and everything. Point here in the exam is using your logic and elimination skills, especially in the preliminary stage. See, even for a very experienced candidate in prelims, they will not know more than 50 answers out of 100 questions I'm talking. So how is it that you get over the cutoff line? Basically, you have to use elimination techniques, your logic. How logic? They would have asked you one question in one of your test series papers. You just go through the answer. You feel you have written the right answer, and when you get it as a right answer, you don't go through the solution, right? That is what we usually do. You have to go through each and every line which is given in the solution because that particular information will help you to solve another question. That is what happens in civil services exam because they don't ask any question directly. You can use a particular information and use it as an elimination technique in other questions where you're not very sure of the answer. That is one thing. Other thing is your optional preparation. You'll be writing your optional paper for 500 marks. Make sure you prepare for your optional paper right from day one. That is very important because I have observed trends in 2 mains because I've written 2 mains examination. General studies papers, most of them score similar marks. Most of the people who have cleared the list score similar marks. The difference comes in the essay paper and in the optional paper. You don't need any specific preparation for essay. Only thing is that you need to have quotes. General studies paper is enough for content. How is it that you represent your content in an essay paper? So you'll have to write an essay in 1200 words. So let me say, I'll give you a hint. In a general studies answer, you will write India is a peninsular country. Alright? There will be many reasons for it. How will I write the same thing? How will I use the same information that India is a peninsular country in an essay? I will say, sir, India is a peninsula, that is, India is a country which is bounded by lofty Himalayan mountains in the north, Hindu Kush mountains in the northwest, Indian Ocean in the south, and the northern and the southern part is divided by the Vindhya and the Satpura mountains. So the same information which I have as a peninsular country, I'm personifying it, I'm giving it a lot of description. This is how you make the answer look very attractive in an essay paper. One thing you all would have noticed when you go on roads, when you move on roads, when you go to any village, you'll be seeing a lot of poor people begging. You'll notice that many of them are unemployed. Not many of us actually think as to what has to be done, right? You all are in that privileged position. In the future, you all will be officers. and you will have the opportunity and the power to change the way Indians live, right? See, it is not about getting a job, earning a salary of 1 lakh or 2 lakhs every month. That is not what we are here for. We have to bring changes in the lives of every person in this country. That is when our country can become developed, and that is when we can actually achieve equality in our country. One thing is for sure, we have to make that resolve, not for power, but for uplifting each and every section of the society which is downtrodden, which is underprivileged. Because when that happens, all the benefits which we are achieving have to be experienced by each and everyone in our country. That should be our motto. And one thing is, when it comes to your prelims preparation and mains preparation, the syllabus which you are going to read is going to remain the same, except few changes in general studies, paper 1, paper 2, paper 4, where ethics, integrity, and aptitude will be tested. See, this exam is not about reproducing whatever you read in books. It is about expressing your own thoughts, what you feel about a particular subject, especially in the ethics paper. There may be questions, they'll usually ask in few questions directly. Illustrate few examples from your life where you have exhibited integrity or where you have exhibited the trait of compassion. In the syllabus, you will see all those words and phrases. One thing you have to do is you have to go through the syllabus in detail, especially for the mains exam. Have brief knowledge of about 50 to 100 words about each topic which is there. Make notes about it, or have a very easy way of remembering all those phrases or terms. That will help you to frame any answer, because there will be few bouncer questions where no one would have heard of it. You don't have to worry about any question which you don't know. Whatever best knowledge you know about it, you can definitely write it there. And one more thing, don't compare your preparation or your capability levels with anyone. You all have a lot of potential. You all have a lot of capability. You all are unique in your own ways. Do not think my friend is from IIT. He is a doctor. He has way more knowledge than what I have. His IQ is very high. In this exam, people with very high IQ levels have failed. That I will tell you. So what is required in this exam is perseverance, honesty. You have to keep trying till you get, and for that you have to make focused and honest efforts. You would have heard many of your friends telling, I'm drawing a salary of 80,000, 90,000 per month, right? People around you will be discussing, ನನ್ನ ಮಗಂಗೆ 1 ಲಕ್ಷ 2 ಲಕ್ಷ ಸಂಬಳ ಬರ್ತಿದೆಪ್ಪ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಗಳು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ, ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರ ಸಿವಿಲ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್, ಓ ಬಹಳ ಕಷ್ಟ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅದು. Have you all heard these things? See, all these things should inspire you more. You should feel more confident about what you're doing, because you're here to do something which most people don't even aspire to do, right? Around 7-10 lakh people apply every year. 5 to 6 lakh or 7 lakh people write the preliminary every year. 10,000 get shortlisted for mains, 2,000 for the personality test, and around 750 will make it to the final list. So that shows the complexity and the competitiveness of the exam. But it is definitely achievable if you make dedicated efforts. That I would say. Srinivas sir has taken a very good initiative of giving quality education in Bangalore with respect to civil services. I would like to congratulate him for that. He has taken this initiative to invite many renowned people, giving you real-time insights of as to what a civil servant will do, so that even you get to know the real-time environment and you use it in a way to clear this exam, right? And how you can clear this exam? The best strategy is to practice. Practice in a disciplined way. Be consistent. See, how many of you have planned to study for 10 hours, 12 hours every day? How many of you think if I don't study for 10 hours every day, I will not clear this exam? Okay, I'll ask you a question. How many hours of study do you all think is necessary to clear this exam? See, different people will have different ways of studying and different time periods. Just do it in a way. If you study a particular subject, have this in mind. Till the moment you're confident about that particular topic, read it. Once you become confident, there is no particular timeline. That used to be my normal schedule. But I used to do it on a consistent basis, on a daily basis. I used to have targets. When I used to write a test series, I used to prepare optimally for it. After I wrote the test, I used to go and evaluate myself, be it prelims or mains. What better I could have written. That is what even you all have to do. Once you write the test, your job is not done there. You have to evaluate yourself. You have to look to improve on your weaknesses. See, successful people are not those who win in their first attempt. They are the ones who improve on their mistakes and make those weaknesses their strengths, right? If I can talk about our honorable Prime Minister also, he was not born in a very rich family. He was not born with a golden spoon. How did he make his way through to the top post of the country? That is with perseverance, with confidence. Each one of you here has that potential. Our country is a great country which can produce prime ministers from very rural backgrounds, from very humble backgrounds. So you all have that capability in you. Make sure you use that potential to the fullest possible extent. Okay, till here, if any one of you have any queries, you can definitely ask me. Any query with respect to the exam, how to prepare for it, how do I read? I'm sure that you all are aware of the standard books you have to go through. One most important thing about this exam is you have to revise. And don't listen to any topper suggestions without implementing it in your way. That is, so I'm going through the suggestions given by rank 1. I should not go and blindly implement that. You should ensure that it suits your methodology, it suits your strategy. Don't do something blindly because someone else is following it. Try it. Try it in the sense when tests are being given to you. Write those tests. Implement a new strategy in each test. So in prelims test, this time out of 100 questions, if I'm attempting 80, I use some particular strategy. That in the first round, I'll be solving only the questions which I know. In the next round, I'll come back and choose those questions where I've eliminated 2 options, but I'm confused with the other 2. In the next test, solve all questions in one stretch. See, experiment and implement that strategy which suits you the best. Don't do it because someone else is doing. And for current affairs, because current affairs is a very important portion of civil services preparation, as you all know. One thing is you have to read the newspaper daily, go through daily current affairs, and along with this, you will also have to do one more thing. At the end of a particular month, you will have to read any of the compilations, monthly compilations of current affairs, and keep revising it. Why this is important to tell you. As I keep telling, there is no direct correlation between the kind of questions you read and the that is the content you read and the questions which will appear in the exam. So this current affairs can be used as examples. There is some volcano happening around near Indonesia, let me say. That example you can use in geography as an example. In this way, you will be adding a lot of value to your answers. You will be making it unique compared to your competitors. That will start giving you the extra half a mark, 1 mark, which will take you not to the top 100 in the list.
I have a simple question.
Yes.
It's just casual question. Why did you choose civil, and what was your motive, and what is that you want to bring change in our nation as a civil servant?
One thing is why civil services? As I told you, I had that inclination right from my childhood. And once I started, preparing, even before my preparation, when I was in college, I had these instances where I felt that private sector is definitely doing its part in this country. But it was a public sector or the government service which needs to do a little more for people to be more confident in this country. So at that point, I started thinking because I used to see these problems around me. Any problem of sewage, water overflowing, any street light not working, any roads not asphalted. Because in a city like Bangalore, when you start comparing Bangalore with some of the top cities in the world, you want Bangalore's infrastructure to be top class, right? If it has to become a global city. When I used to see all these things on road, and when I used to see a lot of people struggling to find their ends meet, I used to think, see, what is the benefit of drawing a salary of 1 lakh or 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs when I'm not able to bring any tangible change in the society? So that feeling I had in mind. See, my motive is not to earn money or not to be popular. I have to bring that small change in the society where, at some point in my life I felt has to be corrected. So with that motive, I've come here. Though my first option is IPS, I still have that mindset because policing is that one sector which I like a lot, and I want to bring positive changes with respect to people. That is, many of us, we don't feel like meeting any policeman, interacting with them, right? We see them as aliens, we see them as villains, right? That is that is because of the kind of work culture which is present in our society. That can definitely be changed, and that is one of my motives why I opted for this as a career option.
My question is regarding preparation for answer writing in the main. We freshers keep on thinking we will be in dual mind when we have to start for writing answers or mains. So, what is the best time to start practicing for writing answers or mains?
That's a very good question. One thing, like he mentioned now, don't wait for any topic. No, don't think I'll read the book once and after reading the book, I'll start attempting the questions. That will not happen in this exam. As and when you go through a topic, solve questions. See, solving questions and reading is entirely different. I'll tell you from my experience. When you read any book, when you read it twice, you feel you've acquired all the knowledge which is there in the book, right? That is what we do for our engineering or for graduate level exams. What happens when you solve questions? The difference is one thing, whatever you're learning from the book, when you see the question, attempt that particular question and read the solution. It is equal to reading a textbook and understanding the way of interpreting the content in the textbook. See, they will ask you one question. In Civil Services 2018 paper, there was a question. Which of the following cities is located on the same longitude as New Delhi? The options were Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Pune, Nagpur. By reading which book will you be able to gather answer for this question? Tell me. One thing you have to do is, why I chose this question was, by reading books, you will not gain knowledge or you cannot gain the insights to clear this exam. One thing is, you have to think objectively. One thing you can do is you can keep seeing the India map or the world map every now and then. What it does, it gives you a mental picture. That is, it will give you a mental map of what the actual situation is. And by using that, you can answer questions. So there can be another question for that matter. So what happens is, when you keep visualizing it, you analyze it, any question for that matter. Don't see the question and directly jump into the conclusion that you have read this question somewhere, you're going to the option and selecting it. Read the question carefully, be it prelims or mains, go through the options. Think which option is the best option for that particular question and then choose it. And don't overthink. See, what happens when you overthink is you will start losing confidence. And that happens and that will continue to your next questions you are attempting also. Once you start thinking, my subject is geography. ಈಗ ನಾನು ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿಲಿ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ನಂಗೆ ಈ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಬೇರೆದೆಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ. ಇಫ್ ಐ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್, I will not do justice to the other questions which are asked. One thing is, you should have a mindset where you take all the questions equally. Give equal importance to each question which is being asked. So that will give you the optimum marks in the exam. And more than everything, be confident about your preparation. Your friend would have written 200 pages of notes. You would have written only 15 pages of notes. Some other friend of yours from Delhi will tell, we have a very good value addition material from where most of the questions and themes will come. So many people will tell you so many different things. They will try to scare you. Don't get scared by anything. Whatever you have read, whatever you know, be confident about it. That itself will help you. Go with a positive mindset that I will clear the exam. With all the knowledge you have, that is how you build confidence, right? When you know something, you have to build confidence. So to build that confidence, you will have to work consistently, understand your mistakes in this exam. See, it is not about, you can't clear this exam if you keep repeating the same mistakes. One thing, you have to identify what your core strengths and weaknesses are. In case my weakness is society, I will work more on it. I will take sir's guidance, ask him what value addition can be done. Where is it that I'm lacking? That is what you all have to do with the mentors here. They will give you the right insights as to where you are not up to the mark. You have to improve that and ensure that the subjects where you're very confident, you don't commit any mistakes. See, this exam is not like a 20 over match, right? It is not the slog overs where you can hit lot of sixes. You can't think that the target is 200. First 10 overs, I'll have 80 runs. I'll score 80 runs. Next 10 overs, I'll score at a rate of 14 every over, so I'll reach the target of 220. That is not going to happen. Every over, that is from the very first over, if the target is 200, for example, you have to score 10 in every over. You would have seen the situation even in sports persons. When the final overs come, they will be very tense, very nervous. Why is that happening? Because they've burdened themselves in the end. So when you don't have to burden yourselves, you have to start working diligently from day one. That will differentiate you from the rest of the pack. That will create toppers. Is any more questions you want to ask? Very good. There will be a lot of negative thoughts, negative vibes from everywhere. That will be used. What I used to do was, I used to interact with my parents. I used to tell them what difficulties I had at that point of time. I used to discuss with some of my friends. That used to reduce my burden. That is what even you all have to do. Discuss all these things with someone with whom you are very comfortable. Because carrying pressure or carrying tension in your mind doesn't help you in any way. So you have to get relieved of that pressure and start working again. And this is like a marathon. You have to run at the same speed till you reach your end point, that is your goal. It is not that one stretch, first 100 meters I'll run very quickly, next 100 meters I will take a nap. Probably I'll wait for some of my other friends also to catch up. That is not going to happen. You have to work in such a way that you are consistent throughout your journey. That is the difference between my first attempt, second attempt, and my third attempt. The preparation for this exam has to be holistic. When I was interacting with sir, that is what he told me. That you all, that is my batch, the people from my batch who have got selected, we all started preparing for personality test only after clearing mains. So sir, that is what he told me while we were discussing, that they are creating an environment where you will be able to prepare for the personality test right from this stage. That is a very good initiative. That is how you have to prepare yourselves. According to me, you cannot develop your personality in 2 months or 3 months or 4 months. It is a continuous process. It is a long drawn process where you have to shape your own thoughts in a good way. One thing about newspaper reading and editorials, because everyone tells you editorials are important, right? Editorials, I'll tell you how it has to be read. You have to go through the editorials, frame your own opinion about it. Okay. See, be it Hindu or any other newspaper, there will be sectarian views. It is not that you have to follow those views directly in the exam. As a civil servant, you will have to take many decisions which are balanced. Just because I belong to one community, okay, it is not that when I become a civil servant, I have some views about it. I cannot go and punish the other community which has not done any wrong. It is important to have a balanced approach as a civil servant. So in that sense, your answer writing, especially for mains, have to be balanced. In few cases in mains, they will ask you your opinion. There, when they ask you your opinion, you have to be in the affirmative. You have to choose what is right and what is not. There can be a question like this. Women empowerment in the last decade has taken a turn for the betterment of the women in the country. Analyze. Can any one of you tell me in brief what are the points you will write for such a question? So, as you all are aware, the government is taking many initiatives for the empowerment of women. So, what is it that you will write? Just give me brief points, not the points which you are going to write in the exam. One thing in this exam is you have to be specific. When it comes to mains answer writing, you will have to do it in 250 words for a 15 marker and 150 words for a 10 marker. One thing, you should not explain too much and you should not try to use all the knowledge you have about that particular subject in the answer. Use those points in a very diligent way. See, what you can do for this particular question is you can use data. You know, the percentage of women in higher education, percentage of women in research, engineering, mathematics fields. So you can say, and the number of women representatives in parliament. You can use all these data and figures and tell that women are getting empowered. And one thing you have to do is in civil services, especially general studies papers, in your optional papers, you'll have to be specific about your subject. In few respects, you can use dimensions from other subjects also. But in general studies, you'll have to take a multidisciplinary approach. When they're asking a question on Indian society, it is not only about society they are asking. You can link it with how political environment is influencing that societal setup. What factors are influencing the internal security? What economic policies are influencing the equality in the country? So all these things play an important role. And when it comes to my preparation, what you all shouldn't do is don't focus excessively on any particular thing at any stage. It has to be a balanced one. And one more thing, focus more on CSAT and your compulsory papers in mains. CSAT, why? One thing is, how many of your engineering graduates here? So what we tend to think is, we are engineering graduates, we are very good in CSAT. We don't have to prepare for it, right? That is our usual notion. It is definitely easy provided you practice. What CSAT preparation can do is it can relieve your pressure of general studies preparation. It will give you a change, and more than everything, you will be in a position to score 80 marks or 85 marks confidently in that CSAT paper, where 66 is a qualifying number. You should not take it very lightly, because I know many of my friends last year who were scoring around 110, 120 in general studies, but could not write mains only because they didn't qualify in CSAT. As you all know, in mains exam, if you don't get the qualifying marks in your language papers, which are English and Kannada, or be it any other subject for that matter, your general studies, your option and essay papers will not be evaluated. It's not that you have to spend 2 hours every day for it. Just have a general idea about it, have general knowledge about it. Because what could have happened is, Kannada ಓದಿರ್ತೀವಿ 10ನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿರ್ತೀವಿ ಅಥವಾ 12th PUC ಓದಿರ್ತೀವಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮರ್ತ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೀವಿ, ಕನ್ನಡ ಓದೇ ಇರಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನಾವೇನ್ ಅನ್ಕೋತೀವಿ, ಕನ್ನಡ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಾತೃಭಾಷೆ, ದಿನ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಅದನ್ನೇನಿದೆ ಓದೋದು ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನಿಜ, ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಬರವಣಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಇದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಒತ್ತಡ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಸಂತೋಷವಾಗಿ ಬರೀಬಹುದು. Even while preparing, prepare in such a way that you don't overload yourself with any subject. If I'm studying for 6 hours today, I will devote 1 hour for geography, 1 hour for society, 1 hour for polity, 1 hour for economy, 1 hour for environment, and 1 more hour for current affairs. If you do it this way, one thing is your mind will get refreshed with every new subject you read. And you'll not feel bored with any particular subject. Of course, you'll have to give due attention to your optional subject as well. It is very important. You can keep asking questions.
Selecting optional subject, on what basis you selected optional subject? And as I am from agriculture background, means I have done MSc Agri. If we select agriculture as optional subject, we will face like we will not have any coaching facility or source like that. And if we select other subjects, we will have sources or material from coaching. So on what basis we should select, or we should go with our instinct?
Okay. Optional subject plays a major role in your selection. How? I had done my bachelor's of engineering in computer science, so there was no subject called computer science in this UPSC subject list. What I did was I went through it. Though I did not go through it in detail, I was particular about one subject called geography, because I thought I could learn something new about it. Some new things keep happening around us, and that somewhere is associated with our nature. So I had an interest in that subject. I chose it without bothering too much about the trends. People will tell, oh, you watch political science, toppers top 10 ಅಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಜನ 4 ಜನಕ್ಕೆ political science optional. So next year when you write it, 300 plus ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ score. You shouldn't do it, in my opinion. Choose that subject which you feel you can do justice, which you like. Go through the syllabus in detail. Ask the mentors here. Choose that subject which is, in case you have done your graduation in agriculture, there is a subject, the optional subject agriculture. Choose it. Why you have to choose it? Because you'll already have knowledge about it. You can improve on it very easily. Not an issue if your graduation subject is not there in UPSC list. Choose that subject which interests you the most. Work more on it. Start liking, all the things which you do. That will make your work very easy. Don't think, ಓ ಈ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಪೇಜಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಆ ಬುಕ್ ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬುಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 1000 ಪೇಜ್ ಇದೆ, ನಾನು ಯಾವಾಗ ಓದ್ತೀನಿ, ಇದು ಯಾಕಾದ್ರೂ ತಗೊಂಡು ಆ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್. If you start thinking that way, what happens is even those concepts which are easy will start looking very difficult. One thing that is what I told you, that will get reflected even in a personality test. The way you look at things, they will purposely test you, even in ethics paper, in mains answer writing. Why they want to test you? See, this exam is not only about scoring good marks and clearing, because even in future when you all become officers, you will be laced with those scenarios where you will have to take tough decisions. It is not that we will be aware of everything that will happen around us. In few situations, we will not be aware of what can happen, and suddenly we have to take decisions. So that is when this positive mindset or your ready to go mindset will help you. Even in the exam hall, you would have studied something from, say, environment. In environment, around 20 questions will appear every year, because that is a common entrance even for forest service exam. So around 20 questions will be there. They'll be asking you about one particular national park or wildlife sanctuary which you wouldn't have even heard of. They will say some particular river, Moya river is flowing through it. There is also a tiger reserve which is a part of it. It is a part of the larger biosphere reserve, some biosphere reserve, Nilgiri biosphere reserve. So how will you choose between those options? It is not that I know about all the national parks or the wildlife sanctuaries in the country. You cannot know it. One intelligent thing you can do is you have to start eliminating that. They may have asked about Bandipur National Park. Okay. Moya river flows, Nugu river flows through it. It shares its borders with Mudumalai Tiger Reserve. It is a part of the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. They would have given you options. Option A, Bandipur Tiger, that is Bandipur Tiger Reserve. Option B, Panchmarhi Tiger Reserve. Option C, Silent Valley National Park. Option D, Bor National Park. You don't know where Bor National Park is. You don't know where Valley of Flowers National Park is. But you know that if it is a part of Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, probably it could be somewhere in the southern part of the country. You have to start using this logic. It is not that you know direct answers to all questions. Start using that logic. If it is not this, then probably this. With that, you will be able to eliminate 50% of the options. Next 50%, you will have to take a calculated guess. It is not a blind guess, I'm telling you. From whatever knowledge you have acquired from books and the test series materials, use that knowledge in a proper way. You have to zero in on one option. Take a chance in this exam. See, as I keep telling, not more than 50 questions, you will not know more than 50 answers for the questions which are asked in the exam. So how is it that I attempt 85 questions or 90 questions in prelims? Those 35-40 questions, I take a chance, a calculated guess that this could probably be the answer with the knowledge I have. So this is how you start solving. Mains answer writing plays an important role. I'll tell you why. With the same marks I have scored, there are 12 people. Same mains and interview marks combined, there are 12 people. Just imagine. If I had got 1 mark or 2 marks more, my ranks would have been 20. That is, I would have had 20 ranks higher. That is the level of competition in this exam. You will have to add value to each one of your answers. That by doing that, you can differentiate yourself from the crowd and you can get a very good rank. Use your strengths in such a way that it will make a positive impact in the exam. Use examples. In mains answer writing, use flowcharts. Use diagrams if it is geography or if it is environment. Use block diagrams showing how a particular process is there. Use your own way of representing it. It is not that we have to use only these things. Any bar charts, pie graphs, anything you can do. Only thing is that you should show that you are doing something in a unique way. You're thinking like an officer already. Right? And even in the personality test stage. So how many of you have seen videos in YouTube that in an IAS interview, ಏನೇನೋ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಏನೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ರಾಕೆಟ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಅದು ಇದು ಏನೇನೋ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. How many of you think? See, all those videos which are appearing in YouTube kind of deviate you from what is actually happening. It is not that they ask you something which is not very relevant. They will be asking something relevant from the point of view of a civil servant. We may not be knowing answers to it. We have to accept it honestly. One thing which matters the most in this exam is honesty. Even in your preparation level, even in the personality test, everywhere honesty will be tested in an indirect way. One thing you have to do is right from day one, you should inculcate those habits which make you honest. If you are not able to prepare for a particular test, so next Saturday, let me say there is a test on geography. You're not prepared for it. Don't think I will skip this test. In everything like ಮತ್ತೆ geography paper ಇದೆ ಅವಾಗ ಬರೀತೀನಿ. You should ensure that when they give you the timetable or when you have any specific timetable, you work on it. You should be ready. It is not that you can keep postponing your goals and then think by the end of the day I will achieve it. Success will come to those who persevere, not to the ones who only keep dreaming. Dreaming is a part of our life, definitely. But to make those dreams, to convert those dreams into reality, you will have to work hard. Right? And you all would have come here for a purpose. Can be anything. And in the course of your preparation, you may feel ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಬಂದೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೆ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ 50,000 ಸಂಬಳ ಬರ್ತಿತ್ತು ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಮನೆ ಕಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದಾಗಿತ್ತು. So many of you may feel that way. Don't allow such feelings to creep into your mind. You are here for a purpose. Teachers are there. You have very good guidance through the academy. Make the best use of it and ensure that you have positive thoughts and you clear the exam in the quickest way. Okay, can I have few questions from the last few rows? Anyone there? Last bench college ತರ ಏನು ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ದೊಡ್ಡೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೋದಾ? ಆತರ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. I know many people who are sitting in the last rows and that's done very good things in life. Only thing is that you should do your things diligently, that's all. Right? Any one of you has questions from that corner? Please feel free to ask any question which comes to your mind. Don't think about what others will think about you. You have to think about your own self here. Make groups, make study groups, discuss current affairs, write answers, get it evaluated amongst yourself. Take guidance from the mentors. They will tell you what wrong things and what right things you're doing. That is how you build your strengths and weaknesses. That is how you build your strengths and reduce your weaknesses. Okay, I used to attend the classes on a daily basis. After that, with whatever time it was available, I used to follow a test series. So what I used to do was with the remaining time there, I used to prepare for that particular week's test. I used to devote all my time present in the house, to study for the test. And I used to read whatever is there done in the previous class. See, what happens is, it so happens that when you're reading polity, so let me say you have polity this week, polity classes this week. They would have done few sessions on fundamental rights, directive principles, parliament. Maybe 3 weeks down the line, they'll start with polity again. If you don't go through it now, you'll not, be thorough with the basics. And when they start doing the other things, you will feel left out. Oh, ನನಗಲ್ಲ ಈ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ನನಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಪ್ಪಂಗೆ ಈ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಷ್ಟ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದೇ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಓದ್ಬೇಕು. You shouldn't have that mindset. You should do everything you do with passion. Like whatever you're doing, however difficult it is, you have to do it. Because at the end of the day, when you do all these things, you will be able to achieve something and you will be able to bring changes in the lives of many people who are not up to your potential. You can keep empowering each other, in this entire journey of life. See, life doesn't stop with civil services exam or preparation. It is a very huge thing, and this is only a part of your life. Ensure that you make use of this phase of your life to shape your overall life in a better way. Shape the lives of other people. Like how Sir Srinivas Sir and Kedar Sir have taken this initiative to ensure that more candidates from Karnataka get selected. You too should have a vision. See, your parents, though they may not tell you directly, they will be having this confidence about you. Nan maga eno ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ನನ್ನ ಮಗಳು ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಸಾಧನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಳೆ. With that intention, they would have sent you here. Don't act as a deterrent or don't spoil the image they have or the confidence they have about you. Ensure that you make them proud at the end of the day, at the end of this preparation. See, it is not only about boasting about our achievement anywhere. It is that our achievement has to be a beginning for other people to start excelling. You should all go to that position where you start guiding other people in the right direction. You're all in that phase where you can definitely do it at one point of time. Don't lose hope at any point in this preparation or any time in life. There will be numerous opportunities. You can do wonders in life. Only thing is that you should not lose your confidence and you should not lose your positive mindset. That is very important. With positive mindset, you can achieve anything in life, I'll tell you. See, former American President Barack Obama was also from a very humble background. Being from a racially discriminated community, he went on to become the world's most powerful country's president for 2 terms. A person who was working, as a delivery boy or probably a storekeeper in one of the ice cream parlors. How did he become the president of the United States of America? Do you think some magic happened overnight? Magic ಆಗತ್ತಾ? ಚಮತ್ಕಾರ ಆಗೋಗುತ್ತಾ ಒಂದಿನದಲ್ಲಿ, 2 ದಿನದಲ್ಲಿ, 1 ತಿಂಗಳಲ್ಲಿ? They all would have persevered. All successful people would have worked hard. They would have had one goal in mind. They would have worked continuously to achieve it. That is what even you all have to do. You all have a goal of civil services. Have small targets. ಹನಿ ಗುಡಿದ್ರೆ ಹಳ್ಳ. ಒಂದೊಂದು ಹನಿನೇ ಒಂದು ಬಕೆಟ್ ನೀರು ತುಂಬಿಸಕ್ಕಾಗದು. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಒಂದೊಂದು ದಿನದ ಕೆಲಸನೂ ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಲ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ ಗೋಲ್ ಸಿವಿಲ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಪೂರ್ತಿಗೊಳಿಸಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡ್ತಿರ್ತೀರಾ. ಒಂದು ದಿನದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಧೃತಿಗೇಡುವಂತ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಫೀಲ್ ಡಿಸಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಅಚೀವ್ ರೈಟ್ ನೌ. ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಅಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಐಲ್ ಡೂ ದಿಸ್. Right? It is not about knowing everything or not about acquiring everything. It is about having self-confidence. It is about maintaining that positive mindset. Keep asking questions. You are free to ask.
Yeah, we have some questions online, sir.
Yes, sir.
They are interested to know about your timetable. How did you make your daily timetable and how did you plan your studies?
So one thing I used to do was I used to have a target for each day. Before I went to sleep the very previous night, I used to think as to what has to be done the very next day. Because I had joined a test series, I used to attempt tests regularly. For that particular week's test, I used to read a lot. Along with that, I used to write answers for mains. I used to prepare for my options also side by side.
How did you keep yourself motivated to the 2 attempts even if you didn't succeed? So that
One thing with all the conversations I had with my parents and with my well-wishers, one thing I found out was I had the potential to clear this exam. Talk to all those people who are very close to your heart, who will feel a lot of confidence in you. Those people are the real heroes. Talk to your teachers here. They will give you the right insights as to what has to be done. Whenever you feel low, don't think it is the end of your life. If you score low marks in 1 test or 2 tests, don't think I'll not clear this exam, I don't have the ability. Each one of you here has the same ability. Only thing is that few people make use of it, few others don't make use of it, thinking that they're not capable. This is a great country. India is a great country. A person from a most humble background, the son of a farmer, can become the prime minister. So you all can think of the potential you have. Anyone in this country can excel provided they work properly.
please share some insights about your interview experience.
My interview actually went on really well. It was a great experience I had, though I attended few mock interviews in other places. The personality test in New Delhi was a different thing. They asked many questions from my profile, which I had given to UPSC, and there were many other questions. And one particular sector which one of the members focused was space technology. I had not entered anywhere in my profile, or I had not mentioned it as my interest. But it so happened that one of the members was very interested in it, and he started asking too many questions about it, technical questions. So I told them that, sir, I'm not aware of that particular phenomenon. I'll go and read about it. Few questions I was aware, but I answered them confidently. The ones I know, I answered them confidently, and even the ones I didn't know, I told them that I'm not aware of it and I'll learn about it. So that is what they're looking at. You have to be in a position to learn new things. It is not that now I have a mindset. ನಾನು 10 to 5 ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ 5 o'clock ನಾನು ಯಾವುದೇ ಕೆಲಸ ನಾನು ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಖುಷಿ ಪಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಎಂಜಾಯ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. Life is not same on all the days. You should be in a position to accept ground realities. You should keep that dynamic mindset. That is what I would like to say. in my opinion, I didn't have any difficult. I didn't feel any question was difficult as such. But few questions I didn't know the answers. There was one I don't even remember the name of the effect, but there was a. As I keep telling, there was a question on science space technology, some technical term. I didn't know the answer to it. That is, you have to feel confident even you don't know something. You have to accept that you don't know something. That is where your honesty is actually exhibited. Be honest in your approach. See, one thing you can do is you have to practice. You have to tell yourself that you know something or you don't know something. Don't try to think that you either know everything or you don't know anything. Each one of us here with our life experiences will know a lot of things. Only thing is that you have to structure it. You have to channel it in a proper way, which will make you an officer. Right? See, it is not about knowing geography. I've read 2 huge volumes of geography. It is about knowing that knowledge about geography which will help me for the exam. That is your motive here. Use your subject knowledge to clear the exam, not to achieve something else, not to become a subject expert.
There is an interesting question. It says, after failures in 2 attempts, not being qualified, when you analyze yourself, what were the mistakes that you found among? Did you some mistakes that?
In fact, the COVID-19 lockdown in 2020 March, that helped. I would say that helped me a lot because it postponed the exam for around 4 months. So what I could do at that point of time was I was able to identify my weaknesses of the previous 2 attempts. That is, I had not given ample time for my mains answer writing. Though I was able to complete most of the answers, I was not, kind of very confident about few of the topics. That extra period I used to improve my understanding of few of the topics. I wrote more answers on it. And I had made a holistic preparation. I was completely prepared with respect to my optional, my mains answer writing, even before the prelims of last year. So I was confident. Once I cleared prelims, the other things just fell in place. So that is what I did. I understood what my weaknesses were, which topic I have to understand in a better way, what improvements I have to do in my answer writing or in my way of preparation. I used all those things and I tried my best. I used to tell them that, sorry, sir, I'm not aware of this particular topic or this subject. I used to accept it in that way. See, there can be any other way of telling them that, sir, I'm not very conversant with the facts at this point of time. I'm not very, I don't have enough knowledge about this particular subject. You can tell them in any presentable form. They'll accept it.
Did you have any plan B through your preparation? There's one question also.
To be honest, I did not have any plan B. I did not think about anything else other than civil services selection. That was my only motive. And I had not even thought for a moment what I would be if I didn't clear this exam. Because my focus was such that I only wanted to clear this exam.
What would be your take on regular newspaper studies and notes making from newspaper?
One thing, definitely you will have to read newspapers. And if you're comfortable making notes, you can definitely do it. But don't do it in such a way that it will waste your time. Make use of any compiled material which will give you knowledge. And more than everything, it is not about making notes. It is about revising those notes periodically. Otherwise, what happens is, see, today I may be making a 2-page notes about today's newspaper. If I don't go through it at the end of the week or by the end of the month, what is the use of making those notes? One thing why you're making is because it has to, keep appearing in your mind every now and then. So any topic for that matter, however confident you are, keep revising it. It will give you better insights. It will make you more confident. With more revisions, you'll become more confident. And in this exam, revision plays a very important role. Why I tell you, be it in prelims or mains, there will be many questions which you are not aware of the answers. So it will help you eliminate those options in prelims, write good answers in mains. That extra knowledge I'm talking of.
Sir, your success mantra. Success mantra ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್.
ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ಮಂತ್ರ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಶಿಸ್ತಿನಿಂದ ಯಾವುದೇ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿ, ಶಿಸ್ತಿನಿಂದ ಮಾಡಿ, ಡೂ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನ್ ವೇ. ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಫೇತ್ ಇನ್ ಯೋರ್ ಎಫರ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಯಾರ ಒಂದು ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದದಿಂದ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೇರಣೆಯಿಂದ ನೀವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅದನ್ನ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ನೆನಪಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಯಾವ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅದು ಮುಗಿಸೋವರೆಗೂ ವಾಪಸ್ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ನಿಶ್ಚಯ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಅವಾಗ ನೀವು ಯಾರೇ ಆಗಿರ್ಲಿ, ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದಾನೇ ಬಂದಿರ್ಲಿ, ನೀವು ಖಂಡಿತ ನಿಮ್ ಗುರಿ ಸಾಧಿಸ್ತೀರಾ.
ಸರ್ ನಿಮ್ ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ ಯಾರು ಸರ್?
ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ ಅಂತ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಹಳ ಜನ ನಂಗೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ಯಾರ ಈ ಮಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋವರೆಗೂ. ಅವ್ರನ್ನೆಲ್ಲಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೆನಿತೀನಿ. ಅವರ ಒಂದು ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದದಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ನಂಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ನನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಈ ಒಂದು ನನ್ನ ಯಾತ್ರೆನಲ್ಲಿ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರು ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನನ್ನ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಂಥ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಜನ ನನ್ನ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡಿ ನನ್ನ ಈ ಮಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ತಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಾನು ಕೃತಜ್ಞತೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ.
Any one particular personality whom you revere as a civil servant?
Civil servant ಅಲ್ಲಿ very difficult to name one person because I like many of them.
How would you differentiate studying for civil services and in your future serving in civil services?
One thing is, sir, what I've learned from my friends and the candidates who already got selected is, when we prepare for the exam, we look only at one dimension, writing the answers. See, if it is about science and technology, the role of science and technology in our society, I'll be reading about some technology, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, or something for that matter. But when it comes to service, you'll be having a connect with what is actually happening in the society. Here, you're only preparing for the exam. There, you'll understand how this knowledge can be used to improve the lives of people, how to make the society a better place to live in. This is how we make use of knowledge, is what I personally believe.
One question about answer writing, sir. So you said you made use of some time for answer writing. Any specific tips for answer writing practice, mains answer writing preparation?
One thing is, don't wait till you finish reading the entire book or the entire topic. If I'm reading something related to India's first war of independence, first war of Indian independence, I should not think that I have to read the entire topic which is related to modern history and then I'll start attempting it. If I read something about first war of Indian independence, today itself I'll go and attempt. I will see the previous year question papers. I will go through what are the questions which were asked on that particular topic. I'll write those answers, get it evaluated, and ensure that I don't commit the mistakes in case I've done anything in the answer writing. And keep a time limit for everything. Solving preliminary question papers. So 2 hours, you'll have to answer 100 questions, along with bubbling the answers in the OMR. So you will have to manage time in a very efficient way so that you're not spending too much time on any question or you're not emphasizing too much on any particular subject. You have to give equal importance to all subjects, manage time in a very efficient way.
ನಂದೊಂದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಇದೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ. ಪ್ರತಿದಿನ ನಾವು ಕೆಲವರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ 14 ಗಂಟೆ, 8 ಗಂಟೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೋರಂಜನೆಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ ನೀವು ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಮೋಟಿವೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇರೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ?
One thing, when I used to listen to songs, any song which I used to like, when I listened it in the radio or song, any other medium, I used to keep listening to that song every now and then. That will refresh your mood, that will make you more confident. Try it with anything for that matter in your life. When you like something or when you like doing something, do it when you are not in a very good mood. What that will do is, in my case, when I was not very, kind of interested to study or something, I used to listen to a song. So that used to, encourage me, or that used to take my confidence levels higher. That is when I used to started doing the things which I didn't like at that point of time. Maybe studying some subject. ಹಾಡು ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಮೇಲೆ ಓದಿದ್ರೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಈಗ ಟೈಮು. Now I'm energized. Only thing about this journey is, it is a very long drawn process. So you have to keep energizing yourself with good food, with good thoughts, and practice your hobbies or continue with your hobbies every now and then. It is not that I only prepare for the exam and ಬೇರೆದೆಲ್ಲ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಬರೀ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ. You will not be successful. ನೀವು ಯಾವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಬೇರೆದನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಯಾವುದೇ ಬರೀ ಒಂದ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಶಸ್ಸು ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ. ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೂ ಅದರದ್ದೇ ಪ್ರಾಮುಖ್ಯತೆ ಇದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆದಂತ ಒಂದು ಪರಿಶ್ರಮ ಪಟ್ರೇನೆ ಆಗೋದು. ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ಐ ವಾಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ಲೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಟೇಬಲ್ ಟೆನ್ನಿಸ್. ದೋ ಐ ಕುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪ್ಲೇ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ಮೈ ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್ ಫೇಸ್, I had a knowledge about it. So a few questions were asked about it in my personality test. I was able to answer them. If I was only concentrating more on studying, not doing any other work, what it does to your personality is it will make you a unidimensional person. It is not only important to prepare for this exam, but also hone your other skills also, right? ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಓದ್ತೀವಿ ನಿನ್ ಮಾತ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಿಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಟೈಮ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಷ್ಟೇ. ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಸಮಯ ಬೇಕು ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ. ಹಾಡ್ ಕೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೂ ಸಮಯ ಬೇಕು, ವಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಹೋಗೋಕ್ಕೂ ಸಮಯ ಬೇಕು, ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಜೊತೆ ಮಾತಾಡಕ್ಕೂ ಬೇಕು, ಓದೋದು ಬೇಕು, ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಬರೀ ಒಂದೇ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರಲ್ಲ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಬೋರ್ ಹೊಡೆದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ಟೈಮ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸ ಇವಾಗ ನಾನು ಏನೋ ಒಂದ್ ದಿನ ಬೈಕ್ ಓಡಿಸ್ತಿದೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು 15 ದಿನ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಬೋರ್ ಹೊಡೆದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದಿನ ಕಾರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗೋದು, ಒಂದಿನ ಬೈಕಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗೋದು, ಒಂದಿನ ಫ್ಲೈಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗೋದು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೈವರ್ಸಿಫೈ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಯುವರ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಮೋರ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್.
ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಇದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಜನರಲಿ ಇವರೆಲ್ಲ ಫ್ರೆಶರ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಪರ್ಸನಾಲಿಟಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಫಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇವರು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭದಿಂದಲೇ ಹೇಗೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಪರ್ಸನಾಲಿಟಿಯನ್ನು ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನ್ ಸಜೆಷನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ? ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಫಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗೋಣ, ಮೈನ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಪರ್ಸನಾಲಿಟಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗೋಣ ಅಂತ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಆ ಫೇಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೋಡಿದೀವಿ. ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನನ್ನ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ಬಯಸ್ತಾರೆ?
In my opinion, personality stage or the personality test stage is the first stage in this exam preparation. Because when you have that framework, or when you have that mindset, only you can become an officer. It cannot happen only after clearing means. What you have to do for that is, with the subjects you're reading about any topic, be it farm laws, be it the vaccination milestone which India has achieved, or be it India-US relations, India-Russia relations. You go through it, you will read many articles, India's national security policy. After going through all these things, frame your own, views about it. Any particular issue, have your own views. Because in personality test, they will ask you. India is moving very close to China, even in spite of having border tensions with that country. Do you think this is a good strategy? There, in the main answer, what we will be doing is, we will be balancing it. Why India has to have good relations with China, economic relations, because it will give you a lot of automobile components, electronic goods are being sourced from China, and active pharmaceutical ingredients are being sourced from China. So you need to maintain these diplomatic relations along with the military tensions we are having is what you will write in mains. When it comes to the personality test, you will have to choose between these. So what happens when you start preparing from now? You will already start preparing you will start having your views about every particular issue in the country. One thing about this preparation is, it will make you aware of what is happening around you, be it your country, be it your state, or be it your city. Identify those problems. ಇವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆ ಹತ್ರ ಇವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮೂರು ಯಾವ್ದು, ನಮ್ಮೂರು ಮೈಸೂರು. ಓಕೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಮೈಸೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದೆ, ರೋಡಿಂದ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ನೀರಿನ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಪೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇಟ್ ಕುಡ್ ಬಿ, try to have a solution for it. As an administrator, as a municipal commissioner of that particular city, what solutions will you suggest? Have such framework in mind. So what that will do is, it will build your personality. You will start becoming a leader already. It is not that after clearing means I start preparing. You will start knowing that there are many potholes in Bangalore. What solution will I do? I will borrow some points from my friend who's already written the answer. That should not happen. You should have your own thought process. You should know independently as to what is happening around you. ನನಗೆ ಅನ್ಸಿದ್ದೇನೆ ನಾವು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀಬೇಕು, ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು. ನನ್ನ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಕ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನೀವು ಯಾರಿಂದನೋ ಕಾಪಿ ಮಾಡಿದಿರಾ ಪರ್ಸನಾಲಿಟಿ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ದೇ ವಿಲ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದೋಸ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್, ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಈಸಿಲಿ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ವೆದರ್ ಯುವರ್ ಒಪಿನಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಟ್ರೂ ಆರ್ ವೆದರ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬಾರೋಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಅದರ್ ಪೀಪಲ್. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಒಪಿನಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಒರಿಜಿನಲ್, ಥಿಂಕ್ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಓನ್ ವೇ, ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ದೋಸ್ ಸ್ಪಾಟ್ಸ್ which you feel are lacking in you. In case personality test ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ, honesty, integrity, ಆಮೇಲೆ how presentable you are as an officer, how well you will gel with your team members, ಆಮೇಲೆ how good you are in facing situations which you didn't expect, unexpected situations. So basically, they're looking for those qualities which makes you a complete human being, basically. More than an officer, first you have to become a good human being. Okay, so when you start inculcating all these qualities, you'll automatically do well in personality test. And by having those views, even in your mains answers, it will help you take a good stand. Because there will be questions where they'll ask you to take a stand on a particular issue. So one thing you're doing is you're knowing both the positives and the negatives, and you're in a position to choose which one is the best for the country or best for the state. Right? Yeah, I cannot say, maybe you'll get posted as an IAFS officer. India, China, ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಯಾವತ್ತು ಈ ಎರಡು ದೇಶನೂ ಒಂದಾಗಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸೈನಿಕರನ್ನ ಸಾಯಿಸ್ತಾರೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಫೋನ್ಗಳು ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಟಾಪ್ಗಳು ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಂಥ ದೇಶದ ಜೊತೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಗಿರಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತೆ? See, even in life, not only for the relationship between those two countries, life is about accepting the changes. That's all. It is about accepting those changes and making yourself ready to face the future challenges. Even you should not think, even an exam clear ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಓ ಲೈಫ್ ಸೆಟ್ಲ್ ಆಗೋದೆ, ನಾನು ಆರಾಮಾಗಿರ್ತೀನಿ, ನನ್ನ ಖುಷಿಯಾಗಿ ಇನ್ನೇನು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈ ತರ ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ವಿ ಥಾಟ್? ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಟೆಲ್ 10th ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡಪ್ಪ, PUC ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ, ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಮುಗಿತ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಸೆಟ್ಲ್, ಇನ್ನೇನು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೇಡ. Haven't our parents told all these things? Haven't our neighbors told all these things? See, life is a continuous process. It does not end with any particular stage. Only thing is that we have to keep learning new things. We have to keep adapting. Even as an officer, you have to keep adapt. You have to adapt to new situations, right?
Probably the last question for today's session, sir. Through the preparation, we go through a range of emotions. How do we keep ourselves emotionally stable? And how do we go through these different emotional situations?
One thing in the preparation for this exam, don't take anything to your heart. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಯಾವುದು ತಗೋಬೇಡಿ. ಇದು ನನ್ನ ಕೈಲಿ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನ ಏನು ಉಪಯೋಗ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಡೋಂಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಥಾಟ್ಸ್. ಅಳು ಬರ್ತಿದೆ, ನಂಗೆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ, ಶೇರ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಸಮ್ವನ್. Sharing it, what happens is when you share it, one, you'll be reducing your burden, and the other person who is interacting with you will give you those strategies how to overcome it. And interact mostly with people who have a positive mindset. ಇವಾಗ ನಾನು ಹೋಗಿ ಯಾರ ಹತ್ರ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ನನ್ನ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್, if someone comes to, if I go to someone telling him I have some problem, if he is kind of putting more stress on me, there is no point in sharing it with him. You have to share it with a person who will reduce your burden and who will give you a better way to approach that particular problem. So don't be emotional about anything in life. Take it as it comes. Take life as it comes. Make your own strategies to overcome your weaknesses. That is how you will become a better person.
Any more questions from the audience, sir?
So it was a very good session. I would like to thank India for IAS Academy for giving me this opportunity. Srinivas sir, Prashant sir, and Kedar sir. I had a very good time interacting with all the candidates, fresh candidates. So this is the time for you to excel. You have got into the right career option. You have chosen it because you want to do something for the society. You want to bring a positive change in the lives of people. Make sure you make your attempts, and because you're investing both your money and time. You shouldn't do something without having an objective in mind. When you want to do something, have a clear focus. Any work you do, have a clear focus. See, it is not only about mastering the subjects here. Mastering the subjects is only for the exam. You have to learn the lessons of life. That you will experience as and when you keep studying. Have a positive mindset. Be confident. Don't lose hope at any point in your life. This is a very long journey. In each and every path, or in each and every stop you take, you will start learning new things. Accept the new things. Accept new feelings, new thoughts. Find your own way. Don't lose your ideology. That is ideology in the sense, don't be the person you are. Don't try to imitate someone just because someone is successful. Try to make others imitate you, because you have to become leaders. You have to be the backbone of the development of this country. So I would like to thank everyone by telling that India is a great country. You all have a great potential. Each one of you here has a lot of capability. Make use of that opportunity which is being given to you by your parents, by God, by the teachers here. Make the best use of it. Make yourselves good human beings. Be confident. Keep learning new things. More than everything in life, you all are doing this to be happy. Don't forget that thing in mind. Being happy is the most important thing. Do everything that makes you happy. Stay confident. Stay blessed. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, Suraj, for that words of guidance and words of wisdom. In fact, it was very, very inspiring to listen, and I'm sure a dose of motivation has been thoroughly delivered to all the young aspirants in their first week of preparation itself. To start from where he started and the mistakes that he made, how he learned from those mistakes, and how he took his journey, and finally seeing an achievement in itself. Thorough words of guidance and wisdom. A big round of applause and thanks, Namahar. So you have known his story. It's time now to write your story. Your time has come. It starts now. There is no time limit that nobody will pressurize you. You set your timetable. You set your schedule. As Suraj said, many like him and most of us as a team will be along with you to guide you, to take you along where you want to reach. Know their story, write your story, series 3. So in this series, this is the third session that has happened. I hope all of you had made maximum use. On behalf of Kedar sir, the chairman, and CEO Srinivas sir, and the entire team of India for IAS, we thank Suraj for making time for us and being part of us. Thanks from all the aspirants also here, and thanks to you for being part of this session. Thank you so much for this wonderful session, sir. Thank you.